Hello, welcome to Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is going to be our review for WWE Payback 2023. I, of course, Patrick Young. This gentleman to my right is my co-host, Joe Nina.
Payback hit off with Becky Lynch defeating Trish Stratus in a steel cage match.
Yeah, and what is most definitely their best match together in this feud. Probably one of the better cage matches I've seen in a pretty long time. Both girls went at it. Nice back and forth. They used the cage instead of it just being a match that happened to be in the cage. As well. However, this should most definitely put an end to the feud, and I guess Trish goes with Zoe, and Becky goes with. I'm not sure how much longer they can hold off on her and Rhea, but I'm going to guess her and Rhea is probably next.
Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah. Sorry. However, they both saved their best for each other on their last match.
Yeah, it was a heck of a fight, and that's what matters. I felt like the big goal of the feud. That's what I need to be, is the feud has gone on long enough, and it's time for both of them to move on. As usual, Becky looks like a warrior who overcame the odds, because very few can hang with her when she's at the top of her game, and that's why she is our greatest women's wrestler in WWE history.
She is.
What she wants to be. The Zoe interference was a bit much because it's still a cage match, so it's just to keep her out. But if you don't expect interference in a cage match, that's on you. But that's the only downside to the match. They did rather well.
I gave it an A-.
A-. Not my match of the night.
Not mine either.
Post-act, Zoe got out, but Trish tells her to get out. That earns her for 60, which should either hurt Trish on TV for a bit or move them into a feud. Now, technically, I think they returned Zoe face, but based on the reaction Trish got off here, they might want to think they might want to take Trish off the TV for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And play just keep Zoe as the heel, and have Trish come back as a baby face.
Yeah.
Up next was a John Cena Miz promo with Seth Cena for a special guest referee for LA Knight versus defeating the Miz.
Yeah. Sometimes if Miz gets with like specific styles of talent, you can kind of almost expect like it doesn't necessarily sound like the most intriguing matchup. I kind of thought that way about Miz and LA Knight, but I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, the crowd was really into it. The wrestling was solid. I mean, the Cena ref moments were a bit plentiful, but it's kind of almost to be expected when you have a bigger name as a referee. But overall, the entire thing was well wrestled and was really entertaining.
Oh yeah, this is probably a good bit, for the point of the match, probably a good bit longer than it needed to be at 15 minutes, but it wasn't bad, with the important point being at least win. And it's one of the bigger matches of his career, and he's a former world champion, which is all that you could hope for here. Cena was there to pick things up a bit, but thankfully he didn't play a role in the ending. LA did win clean. It's a good stuff with the right result. And then play Cena for a handshake. LA says Cena was close to the match, and he does shake his hand anyway. Up next, Rey Mysterio defeated Austin Theory to retain. Oh, my fault.
Overall, I gave it a B-.
That's my check. Up next, Rey Mysterio defeated Austin Theory to retain the US title.
Yeah, I thought this one was a completely fine match. Rey Mysterio decided to go crazy on his tilt-to-roll head scissors and hurricanranas. But it also felt like this match was sort of missing something. It also felt a little bit rushed. But it was a solid match that was quick pace, as much as you would expect from these two, and it was an overall solid affair.
Yeah, this felt like a SmackDown event. Was a good bit better match than their original version. Ray can still go with anyone, and it seems likely to be ready for a showdown with Santos down the line. For now that they had a good enough match, and now also can move on to anything else.
I gave it a C.
C+. Up next, in my match tonight, Judgment Day defeats Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to win the tag team titles, and still stay street fight.
I completely agree with Joe here. This was my match of the night as well. this is what the Steam Stampede came up short on. It actually being fun. Where that was perfectly fine for what it needed to be, but it kind of missed the aspect of using your environment, and this came off a lot better in that aspect. As they went, it kind of felt like a street fight. They went around the building, jumped off certain things, used the environment to their advantage, instead of just mindlessly brawling around the entire stadium. This felt like a true fight around the arena, and then he went over the top and did the pro wrestling thing and actually be entertaining. I do love the Judgment Day winning here, as Finn has done some really strong work recently, and he deserves at least some bit of gold if you're not going to give him a world title. And now the Judgment Day can brag about their gold, and also we're sort of at the peak of Judgment Day, which their fall will most likely come rather soon.
Yeah, this was all about the insanity and violence, and that worked incredibly well. There were multiple times I would believe it was over, then kept going without ever feeling like it was going too long. It took 5 people, but Sammy and Kevin finally lost the titles, and they're huge winner this year. The big thing was that they changed the titles when there was almost no realistic way down thinking about for Kevin and Sammy to retain. That's not to say they're not the team to get the titles back, but
yeah. Oh, I'm half expecting the Judgment Day lose it back to them.
But there were now thinking about I should have picked them. There was almost a realistic way for them to retain here. That's how the show going, and my God, this was a heck of a fight.
I gave it an A.
A. Up next, Cody's big announcement on Grace Wild Frank was that he used his political stroke to Jey Uso move over to Monday Night Raw, and told Jay he hopes that we Army can. I hope we don't overdo it on the ring.
And Jay super kicks Chris Waller. Yeah, it was a fine segment. It was as much as you can like a segment on a pay-per-view.
I did crackle and Grace to say he's only been going for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Also a point.
At least someone brings that up.
Yeah, because when somebody leaves in WWE,
yeah,
they're only going for like a month on those.
Yeah, there was a couple times where it was like, oh yeah, Roman returns next week.
Like 3 off a week.
Okay, but he was just there last week.
For the Raw Women's title, next Rhea Ripley defeated Raquel Rodriguez.
I thought this one was a solid outing, but it was kind of put in the dead spot in this card a little bit. It was strong action, and they were brawling back and forth, and it was hard hitting. But I think it got the disservice of being sort of in between spots and in between matches, and then Cody and Grayson Waller and Jey Uso. Overall, I did really like it, but it probably would have benefited from being somewhere else in the card.
Yeah, this was an all match. I think that went longer than I needed to, 17 minutes. And then I think I held it down. Raquel felt like one of the first people who could hang in the ring physically with Rhea. But as I take me so far, Raquel having that kind of size does negate one of the biggest advantages that Rhea has, but it was hard to fathom Raquel actually win the title. Not an awful match, but I think this is where I would switch the time limit to the U.S. title in this. I think this as an 8-minute house fight.
Yeah.
Would have been way more entertaining, and Rey in theory in like an 18-minute U.S. title match.
Yeah.
Would have been more beneficial to them.
I think so too.
That's where I would switch the time limits on them.
I gave it a C+.
C. John Cena then tried out his backstage interview work with Judgment Day. Finn was on a box. Cena was like splitting.
Yeah.
Seth he didn't look forward to Finn. That's what happened. And the main event for the World title, this is Seth Rollins defeats just Finn Nakamura to retain the World Title Championship.
I really did dig this match, and the story that they were telling with Seth's back and Nakamura being extra aggressive. And I can appreciate the pacing of this match, as you sort of had more higher spots on the card somewhere else. However, I'm not sure if the style of match it should have been the main event, as it was more slower, more methodical, especially after you had Sammy and KO brawling throughout the arena in the excitement of the cage match earlier in the card. This probably would have benefited from not being in the main event. But I digress here. Seth and Nakamura did really well together, and I'm actually interested to see where that goes, with Nakamura's more aggressive character and Seth gaining more sympathy because of his back injury. Overall, it's a really good main event.
Yeah, I will say, remember how I kind of took issue with a match going so long, almost all night long? I would probably say 25 minutes might get a little long for this, for the type of match they were having.
Yeah.
I thought this was the case again here. The match was very good, but also felt like they were trying to fill in a longer run time too. Shinsuke did his usual good match, but I wasn't like there was also reason to believe he was Shinsuke was anything more than challenging him off still though. But no, it doesn't look like he's going to be. Ankle behind the ankle works, all fair, but it's still no reason to believe that in a 25-minute match. I don't think.
I gave the match a B.
B. Overall.
Overall, I'm gonna give the show a B. Overall, I'm pleased with this premium live event. I don't know. I forced myself to stay too. The show was very good and even had great aspects to it. Namely the cage match and the street fight. With the rest of the show feeling rather well. And the show kind of did overachieve because there wasn't necessarily much build up to this one. But I actually rather enjoyed the show itself. It's probably not necessarily going to be the best show of the year at the end of the year, but this is completely watchable, and everything was at least solid.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. From a quality standpoint, the show is quite good. With only obviously the women's title match and the U.S. title match just being pretty good at worst. That being said, I will say this: they probably, if they were going to do long matches all night, they might have really need another match or two on the card to balance it out. So the whole reason the matches don't have to be dragged out so long. 6 matches don't make much of a pay-per-view card, but there's a better balance between them. Works completely fine. In this case, I don't think every match needed to go. Other than Ray Theory, I don't think every match had to go past like 15 minutes either. To be fair, because I think it's Ray Theory, then LA Knight and Miz is the second lowest, and that's like 15 minutes. So that's probably where another match or two will have helped out just to spur it out a little bit. That was kind of glorious all night. It was also, I guess from a headline point of view, only so eventful the show, with James who jumped into Raw and the tag team title change. I guess on the important parts. Good show if you're looking for quality wrestling though. Not as much as far as big time forward investments.
Yeah.
Up next we have a 13 match card where I try to break down storyline reasons for each match, or give each match a storyline.
Which this video may be uploaded after the next video we're taping.
Maybe, but we don't know.
I mean, we only have so much time for the predictions video to be relevant.
Well, that's true.
I swear we're professional.
Yes, but either way, you will have heard by now me come up with storyline reasons for why every match is happening, as I tried to connect the dots on this video. See you soon, or see you from the future.
Yeah. See you in the future.